Before the show, the director won't let him sacrifice. The plot must be believable and avoid Jack's suspicions. The leading lady arrives. She's a rich girl set to marry a wealthy man, but the real love of her life is actually the stable boy, Jack. Jack sits there, lost in thought. He's not captivated by the lead's beauty, but rather jolted into reality by the scare he just had, realizing that these folks would really go for his life. For the entire 2 days that followed, Jack managed to steer clear of any trouble and began to gradually get accustomed to the rhythm of life. As a groom, it appears that he has truly started to convince himself that he is indeed in the 19th century. Meanwhile, the director kicks off his tears and transformation plan, first having the lead cry by the road Jack uses to try to tug at his heartstrings. To the director's dismay, the lead tearfully says she'll be forced to marry a rich old man by her dad, but Jack doesn't comfort her. Instead, he thinks this is a win-win situation, getting ready to shoulder the future responsibility. Just when the director is brainstorming, Jack creates his own opportunity. He couldn't stand life without a bride or a pillow, so he swipes some chicken from the... He then proceeded to stuff the feathers into a cloth bag to create a pillow. After all, he had already experienced a thing or two about the sting of a whip. But this distressed him, so Jack remained unfazed when the manager took his best body. Dad witnessed the scene and felt a wave of disappointment. Just when everyone was feeling down, suddenly a well-dressed man appeared by the river looking for Jack. He intended to trigger Jack's guilt, but to his surprise, Jack didn't care one bit, and even admired the guy for hanging in there. At that moment, the guy from the beginning showed up again to look for... He found Jack and flipped the script. The girl was actually a stable worker, and the director didn't expect too much from these non-specific roles. This is how modern underwork came to be, with the son suddenly interested in a stranger's skirt. Dad, who had been watching the entire scene, was seething with anger, and the director was on the verge of speaking up to intervene. The staff monitoring Jack noticed he was actually asking about the address of that horseback riding girl. But he didn't know, except key roles, other villagers had no lines, matching prolonged servitude. Thus, even with the old guy silent, Jack didn't find it odd. Everyone in the monitoring room wondered why Jack saw the girl. So, the director had the old man stop and ask him why. Sorry was a word that literally didn't exist in Jack's dictionary, causing Dad to feel a wave of guilt. The anger on his face dissipated. Under the old man's guidance, he met Lisa, who had been informed all along, but she didn't give him an answer. She just held the stick and walked away, which made Jack's heart flutter like a moth to a flame. This was such a stark contrast to the girls who flocked to him when he had money, and it made Jack extremely intrigued by her. After that, the director himself sought out Lisa for a chat, asking her to officially join the cast instead of being just an outsider. As night fell, a clear scene unfolded, with the lead finding Jack on the red carpet. She pitifully told him she had to marry that rich guy the next day and wanted to meet Jack in the woods behind the village at night. His intentions were clear as day. Jack could guess she was looking for a fling, but his mind was completely captivated by Lisa. How could he like a girl who wants sex without prep? Jack spotted Lisa in the crowd. Upon hearing those words, Lisa's heart was immediately enveloped by a faint sense of guilt within her. She knew why they ignored Jack and felt her own loneliness since arriving. The director, observing it all, looked strange, originally intending to replace the lead with Lisa. But Lisa flat out refused to go for kissing or getting intimate, considering those things are staples of romance. The director feared plot collapse, so gave Lisa a role loaning for an unattainable hero. She plays a key role that stops her at a crucial moment. Watching the plot teetering into chaos, the director lets Lisa play her part instead of halting her. She wanted to see Jack's choices, remembering what Ray just said, wondering if she wanted to end it all because she didn't want to marry that old man. With that thought, she quickly apologized and ran to the river. Ray, spotting her arriving, instantly launched into her pity act. Everything went as predicted. She couldn't play it in an innocent life falling easily, but what happened next was unplanned. When Ray advanced, Jack surprisingly rejected her, ignoring her beauty and allure, returning to his room for fresh clothes. Then he called over a maid to deliver his stuff while he rushed off to find Lisa. But when he got there, she was nowhere to be found. His actions proved that Jack hadn't been completely consumed by lust. This made both Dad and the director quite pleased, leading them to discuss replacing the lead. After much convincing from the director, ultimately, Lisa agreed to play the lead. Someone might wonder why we need a lead character at all. The answer: love is not just mutual liking, maintaining it is equally important. It shows a man's responsibility. Later, with the director's plan, they were together. Bringing them together created plenty of opportunities for them to interact. Making them spend time together increased their chemistry. Under the director's arrangements, Jack and Lisa had more and more opportunities to be together. They often strolled under the sunset, raced on the fields, and occasionally went boating, during which Lisa taught him some life skills. When Jack stole something, she would guide him, but seeing his gradual change brought her zero sense of accomplishment. If you are finding this story interesting, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.